Hey y'all, it's your girl Sumya, your favorite God plus girly, okay, content creator. Because listen, we talk about the faith, but we also gonna talk about the girl stuff, or you're also gonna get some girl things, like me doing my makeup, for instance, and not too much on me because I am practicing. I'm still learning, okay? If you got some tips, you could tell me in the comments down below, but not too much. But anyway, we're going to jump right into the video. This is about 7 things that I did to personally get out of depression. Now, I have experienced childhood depression and adulthood depression as well. In childhood, I experienced childhood trauma, which led to me being depressed at a very young age. I can remember being depressed as early as 5 years old. Now, I was depressed from 5 years old all the way until I had my firstborn, and even after that. So after I had my firstborn, I experienced really tough and a brutal postpartum. This postpartum actually led to me developing postpartum depression. Now, many people don't realize this, but depression is actually a spirit. It's actually called the spirit of heaviness. You can actually look that up in the Bible. So a lot of times when doctors try to give you medication, I'm not saying that you cannot go to the doctor to get your medication, but I am saying that oftentimes when you do get these medication oftentimes suppresses the issue at hand and does not deal with the root cause. Today, you will be dealing with the root cause, and that's just point blank period. So let's jump into it. The first thing that I did to get out of depression was, number 1, hygiene. Brush your teeth, wash your face. You're going to shower. You're going to do this every single day. Now, when I was going through postpartum depression really bad, I was not doing any of that. What I would do, though, is I would wash my baby. I would make sure that I was getting up and making her food and feeding her. And I was making sure that she was clothed because she was too little to do any of that. After that, I would jump right back into the bed. Baby, I was down bad. However, the moment you start to say, you know what, I'm about to get up and I'm finna take a shower. I'm gonna brush my teeth. I'm gonna wash my face. Something clicks. Is almost like it's instant. It's almost like it makes you want to get up and be active. It's almost like you have washed away the enemy. Because to be honest, if we're being real here, y'all, demons actually live in filth. So when you have a dirty house, you oftentimes have chaos. When you have a dirty vehicle, you oftentimes have chaos because the enemy lives in filth, y'all. Demons live in filth. So when you are depressed and you're not cleaning your body, you're not brushing your teeth, you're not washing your face, you are allowing the enemy to attack you even more, y'all. Even more. That's why you got to get up and you got to take that bath. You got to brush that teeth. You got to clean that face so that way you can literally wash off the demons. So the thing is, just when you're in the shower, imagine just everything heavy coming off you. Because like I said, depression is actually called the spirit of heaviness, right? And then also, I do want you to know that during this time of postpartum depression, I also suffered with anxiety. However, understand that words are powerful. So I don't want y'all to say, my depression, my anxiety. Stop taking ownership of these things. Now, that's not even in my notes, but I do need to mention that y'all have to stop taking ownership of certain things. You want to make sure that you're speaking life over your situation. Do you know that you can literally be down in the dumps in your bed, depressed, but the moment you start saying, I am enough, I am worthy, I am God's child, I am full of joy, I am full of peace, I have a sound mind. You can be down in the dumps and depressed, but the moment you start speaking life over your situation, you can literally speak into a new season, y'all. You have to stop taking ownership of something that was never yours to begin with in the first place. Number 2, the second thing that I did to get out of depression, I started to do my hair. Now me, I'm a hair girly. I love to be put together. So the moment I stopped doing my hair, I should have known that something was wrong. Now I know y'all probably like, oh, I'm just tired. I don't feel like doing anything. But guess what? What if you have an old headband wig in your closet? You can literally wash your hair, blow dry it, throw it up into like 4 braids, 4 plaits, and throw that headband wig on and call it a day. Something so easy. Or what you can do is do a quick little 5-minute hairstyle. Some hairstyles that you can do is a slick back bun, a slick back ponytail. Something so quick. You can actually do 4 cornrows and just do your edges. Something so cute, something so neat, right? These hairstyles do not have to take you all day. Just do something, put in some effort is what I'm telling you to do. Number 3, you're going to do your nails. I understand that everybody might not have it to go get their nails done. every 2 weeks. I'm not telling you to go get your nails done every 2 weeks. If you can, then good, do so. However, if you cannot, or if you're just like me and I'm not finna keep playing with y'all at the nail salon, I can't keep doing it. You can get you a gel nail kit. I purchased mine from Amazon. Not only did I purchase my gel nail kit from Amazon, but I also made sure that I got some extra things that will help my nails last 2 to 3 weeks. Because if you just think that you're going to get a gel nail kit and it's going to last, your nails will come off the same day. I had to learn it the hard way. So also make sure that if you're going to purchase that gel nail kit, I also have linked in my Amazon storefront, not only that, but also your primer. I have the nail dehydrator, and I also have a builder nail gel as well. So those are the things that I use to make my nails last 2 to 3 weeks. Actually, the nails that you see in this video, I still got them on today, and it's about the 3rd week, honey. Okay, so I know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to put you on game. Number 4, what I did was fast. So that was actually number 1. That was before the hair and the nails and the washing my body. That was before all of that. That was the first thing that I did. I'm sorry, my bad, going out of order here. Okay. But I started to fast, and I was urged to fast. The reason why is because one day I was in my bed and I thought that I wasn't going to make it. I was tired of life is what I'm saying. Okay. And I said, God, why would you let this happen to me? Why am I going through all of this? I said, God, I'm kind of giving up on you. I don't even know if you're real, but if you are real, give me faith the size of a mustard seed. That's how it started. Okay. Say that exact prayer. Just listen to it, put it on, and come into agreement with it. But that was the prayer that I prayed. And after that, I got this urge to fast. And I kept saying, I don't know why I keep feeling like I gotta fast. Like, I don't know why. But come to find out years later, I came across this lady, this prophetess called Tiffany Montgomery. And she has a ministry called Covered by God. And she was mentioning that this kind goeth not out but by prayer and fasting, meaning that it's some spirits within you're going to have to fast that out. You can't just pray that away. You can't just pray it away. You're going to have to fast and pray. Okay. So that's why I'm like, okay, it clicked as to why, okay, this depression left me because this kind goeth not out but by prayer and fasting. Okay. The next thing that I did was literally write it down and make it plain. Now I paired this up with the fasting. Okay. However, when it comes to writing it down and making it plain, what I did was write down everything that I wanted from God. So basically I came to God with requests. I'm like, God, listen, I need this. I need a new car. I need a new house. I need X, Y, and Z. I need this amount of money in my bank account. I literally wrote it down and made it plain. So the thing is, when you're writing it down and you're making it plain, it's like, for me, something clicked. I wrote it down and I made it plain. And then I started noticing all of these prayers were getting answered. This increased my faith. Also, when I started to write it down and make it plain, I also asked God to bring back the passions I once had. So, for example, for me, that looked like YouTube, that looked like social media, that looked like me getting back online and being present. So that's something else that you should pray for as well. The next thing that I did was start to do praise and worship daily. And I would also pick a sermon to listen to every single day. I would listen to a sermon and I would just make sure that I was really in tune and I was listening to what the preacher was saying. Find you somebody who you can put your ear to. For real. Like, sometimes in order to come out of something, you have to get out of a certain environment and a certain headspace and go to somewhere that is more positive. Okay. And even if you can't get out of your environment, listen, like I said, to somebody who is more positive. Listen to somebody who has their head on straight. Next, I started to increase my water intake and also to take my vitamins. Now, we understand, as I mentioned previously, depression is a spirit. It's called the spirit of heaviness. However, when your body is lacking a certain vitamin, nutrient, mineral, your body will be thrown off. Your body will not function how it truly needs and deserves to function. This is your temple. You have to make sure that you are putting in good fuel inside of your body. Now, also during this time of me increasing my water intake and also taking vitamins, I started to actually eat cleaner as well. So I always was a person that loved veggies and fruits. However, I made sure to increase that. What I started taking was a multivitamin. I actually just continued to take my prenatals, but you can take a multivitamin, but also include a probiotic as well. A lot of times when we have terrible gut health, it affects our mind as well. You want to clear up that gut health so that way you can think better. You can be in a better mood. You won't have as much brain fog, right? Last but certainly not least, you're going to pick one hobby, at least one to two, I'll say. But one of those hobbies, if you do pick two, it needs to be something where you are moving your body. So for me specifically, what I started doing was pole fitness. I would do pole fitness and I would go at least once a week. And I would just make sure that I'm moving my body. And every time I would come back home from that pole class, y'all, I was in a much better mood. Later on, I did start going to the gym and I noticed that, oh, wow, like I'm not as angry. I'm not as upset. I'm not as all over the place. My mind is not in shambles right now. Like I'm okay. Now, the second hobby that I did pick besides a hobby where I was moving my body was a hobby where I could just sit down and kind of be creative. So for me, that looked like content. That also looked like painting. I love to paint, y'all. I really, really love to paint. I love really doing anything that I would say is a sensory activity. So also something that I know that I would enjoy is like making pottery, for instance. But that's it. That's everything that I did to come out of that deep, dark depression that I never thought that I would come out of. Sometimes you can be in such a dark situation where you think that you will never escape. You will never come out of. You feel like a crab in a barrel, y'all. I'm here to tell you that your girl is a living, breathing, walking testimony. And if I can get out of that depression that I was in for decades, you can as well. That's it for today's video. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Comment down below if you're going to be doing these things. And anything else that you want to comment. You can also DM me privately. I have Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. You can follow me on those platforms as well at SumyiaEvans. I do God plus girl content over there as well. So that looks like my faith-based content combined with like my girl stuff, my hair, my nails, my things, you know. I love y'all so much and I'll see y'all next time.